and welcome to The Way I See It with me, Oguntola. So, you might know I have a podcast of the same title, The Way I See It, and I did record the podcast with a view to sharing it on YouTube, but the videos that came out weren't very professional. I didn't like them, so I thought I'd redo the YouTube videos, even though the podcasts, are already up on Spotify, so you can always go and watch them. So, as you may know or may not know, in terms of this podcast series that I'm doing, I'm featuring my book. This is my third book, and it's called Running Chronicles, 21 Lessons I Learned from Running. And it's basically about my running journey. So what I'm going to do, so for the first part of the series, basically, I am just reading from my book. I'm just sharing with you the lessons that I have learned from running. And once that series is over, then I will move on to other things and talk about the way I see it and comment more on what's going on around us. So first of all, I'm just going to read you the blurb. It says at the back, an inspirational book which draws life lessons from the practice of running. 11 years ago, I gave birth to my beautiful daughter, Esther. Her birth came with complications because I had experienced peripartum cardiomyopathy. Now, this is the situation where my heart had failed due to my pregnancy and was failing to pump water out of the left side of my heart. By the time I got to the hospital, my heart pumping capacity was 6%. To keep me alive and to restore the strength of my heart, I was placed on steroids. These steroids increased my weight greatly. As I got better and started to use less steroids, I decided to exercise. Initially, I joined the gym, but after a while, it became inconvenient to go to the gym, so I started running outdoors. Well, it became inconvenient mainly because of the parking. You had to go and park and pay for parking each time. Just unpleasant. Anyway, back to the blurb. So this was the birth. So I started running outside, and this was the birth of my love affair with running. Running is now a permanent part of my weekly routine, running 5 times a week at the very least. It is for me a quiet place, a thinking place, a strengthening place. It provided such a great opportunity to think, to reflect, and to plan. Answers to questions came to me, and yes, I did lose the weight, and my health is in a better place. Running has, however, long since become more than a health-changing solution to becoming a mental and emotional space of well-being. So I invite you to my Running Chronicles. I know you will be inspired by the lessons I have learned from this activity and use them in your life or business. So basically, this book really is about the lessons I have learned from the practice of running, not just about the running per se, but the lessons I have learned. And so the very first chapter, the title is called You Inspire. Okay, You Inspire. Sometimes when I go running, I go past a group of 2, 3, or 4 women walking for their exercise. I would run round 1 lap and go past them walking. Then I'll run a second lap and go past them, still walking. Inevitably, by the time I come round for my 3rd or 4th lap, 1 or more members of the group would have broken off and started running as I come close. On other occasions, it might be a couple of men walking, or a man. Once they see me go round once or twice, they also begin to run quite aggressively. And then they get tired very quickly and stop. Yeah, the men take it to another level. They always just, a lot of energy. And then they can't sustain it because they are not runners. This is not in the book. They, however, endeavor to make sure they are running each time I am getting close so that I can see them running. This made me think about how we inspire people. We do not necessarily go out of our way to say, I am an inspiration. I will inspire people. Our actions, however, are what inspire. Whether we know the people or have no interactions with them, once we keep running, we never know how these actions can inspire other people to do something good for themselves. Okay, this is off the book here, but what I just don't want to forget it by the time I get to the end of the story or the chapter. But what I say is, once you're doing something that's good, whether, and it's not always easy to do something that's good, or it's not always easy to do the right thing, but once you stay on your path, you are inspiring other people to do the same. You are encouraging other people to do the same. All right. So once we keep running, once we keep chasing that vision, once we keep doing the right thing, we never know how those actions can inspire other people to do something good for themselves. Always remember that. People say to me, you inspire me or you motivate me. Most times I'm surprised because I just do what I do without thinking how it might affect other people. I think that at the time of the writing of the book, maybe I felt that way, obviously, that I didn't realize that I inspire people. But I think now I do. I do realize that my actions do inspire people. My actions do impact on other people. I don't think I necessarily might say I pay attention to it, or I notice how many people are impacted by what I do or are inspired by what I do. I don't think I realize how many, but I think I am aware that my actions do inspire people a lot more now than at the time I was writing the book. So, but it does, I just do what I do without thinking how it might affect other people, but it does, because people watch what you do, whether you are conscious of it or not. I have also learned that people might not like you, they might resent you and still be inspired by you. Sometimes you might, and I'm just going to go back because I just want to make a commentary in the book again on this writing before the end, because I might forget it. And one of the things I'd say is sometimes we have to always remember that we are human beings, right? We are going to fail. We're going to make mistakes. But that shouldn't cause us to be afraid, to do what we need to do, or to follow our dream or follow our path, or to know we're inspiring people. Because at the end of the day, even your mistake is something that someone else can learn from. People will learn from your mistake to say, okay, that's how she did it. That's how Nana did it. I'm not going to do it that way, or I'll do it differently. Or they might also learn from how you pick yourself up after your mistake. Okay, you didn't do something well, you failed, but how did you react to it? How did you respond to it? Did you give up and walk away, or did you keep moving forward? That is inspirational as well. So don't be afraid to, just continue to be you, continue to walk your walk, because you think that if you fail, people would also see that. That's the real fear. That's always been a fear as well. But just to say, don't worry about that. Right? Just keep walking, because people are watching and people are inspired. And then I have also learned that people might not like you, they might resent you and still be inspired by you. Sometimes you might be able to see how much of what you do is replicated in their lives without them acknowledging your influence. Remember that sometimes imitation is always the best form of flattery, right? I think a lot of you would understand this, because some people don't like you anyway, but still you'll see them do something close to what you did and you're like, but that's from me. So just remember, that imitation is the best form of flattery and that you are inspiring people. Additionally, if I'm not inspired myself or motivated, I will not challenge others to do the same. Right? In the same vein, if you are not motivated or inspired yourself, you cannot inspire or motivate others. No amount of talking will make up for actually doing something. Words mean nothing if people cannot see your actions. Your inspiration is to yourself first and to others second. Every morning, for example, when I wake up to run, my inspiration is to myself. I am inspiring myself. Whether I feel like running or not, I am inspiring myself. I am self-motivated to get up and run. Whether it's raining, it's snowing, it's sunny, I'm tired, not tired, I get up and run. I'm inspiring myself. And by so doing, I can inspire others. So by doing what you do in terms of, pursuing your vision, doing the best that you can, being positive, following your dream, whether you feel like it or not, you are inspiring yourself. You need to inspire yourself. You need to be motivated yourself in order to be an inspiration to others. So remember, your inspiration is to yourself first. And I've got these hashtags in my book. I can see that. I think nowadays they said they're coming out of fashion, but at the time they were in fashion. So I've got hashtag keep running, hashtag you cannot inspire if you are not inspired, and hashtag inspire. So that's the chapter 1, you inspire. And I just encourage you to walk the good walk, fight the good fight, keep believing in yourself, keep pursuing vision, keep being inspirational for yourself first, and others will be inspired by you. And that's the way I see it. Now, because the chapters are really short, I'm going to do a second chapter. And this one is called It's No Cliche. It's No Cliche. This is section 2. So, here we go. There have been several occasions when I am running and I get to a point where it feels like I just cannot take another step. I am exhausted and I feel like I must stop for a minute. Everything hurts at this point. All my muscles feel like they are being pulled and stretched and twisted. It's agony. Experience has taught me, however, that if I keep placing one foot in front of the other and keep running, the pain will pass and I'll forget it even hurts. I have learned that I can push past the pain because I have done it a few times before. I have learned that the pain will not kill me. Beyoncé described it once as we bend, we do not break. In fact, I have learned that relief comes to those parts of my body that feel stretched and pulled and twisted if I just keep running. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's like this part of my body hurts. I just realized as I was running that the part that hurts the most, after a little while, it just feels like it just gains relief. It just gains release. So the pain was actually sorting something out in my body. I'm not a scientist, but it's just how I know what I noticed from running, that there was, that part of my body maybe needed something done or something fixed or, enhanced. And after the pain, there's relief. Amazing. The same applies to life. Sometimes I get to a point and everything hurts so bad. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to work. I don't want to take another step. There is so much that has gone wrong or not the way I would like it to go. And I feel like I will collapse with the next step. Recently, I described my business as having gone to visit hell for the summer. No money was coming in, just rising bills. That was truly painful. Getting up to face the day, to work, to talk to my children was hard. I had to keep talking to clients, creating new business opportunities, engaging with communities, implementing new projects, right through the pain. Keep running through the pain. My experience has taught me, however, that none of this will last forever. That if I just get up from the bed, if I just keep working, if I just put one foot in front of another and keep going, this moment, this pain will pass. I might have no money now. I might be totally stressed by family. Work can be going slowly. Clients are not coming in. But if I only keep going, I will find myself go past this moment. And then without even realizing it, I will turn around and the moment will be behind me. I find that I have stretched and grown in the areas where there was pain. I have learned lessons. I have become better and healthier emotionally and mentally. It is not easy to keep going. It is not a cliche or a flippant statement to make. The alternative is to give up, and that is not an option. You cannot reach your destination if you stop now. And I'm just going to go off on a tangent. Recently, I was going somewhere, and I was using a hire vehicle, and the sat nav basically is a journey that usually takes 90 minutes, but the sat nav took me on this journey that lasted 3 hours, right? So I was really stressed. And I got to a point where I almost cried, and I wanted to stop the car and just cry. But I had to think about it. If I stopped the car and cried, what difference was it going to make? I would not get to my destination, would I? It made no sense. I had to keep moving. I had to find an alternative, change the sat nav to my phone and keep moving, because then that meant I would get to my destination, right? It's the same thing. We don't quit. We don't stop. Otherwise, we never get to our destination. Sometimes it can get so dark you're not sure where to place your foot for the next step, but you must take the step in the dark and keep moving. One thing I have learned, the fire always burns itself to ashes. The storm always passes. The writing on the wall always says, "Woman, thou art whole." Okay? It might seem like it's not going to pass, but it does. It passes. And the fire burns out, burns itself to ashes after being humongous and standing in your way and looking like it will consume you. It actually burns itself to ashes. And out of that ashes, the writing on the wall says, woman, thou art whole. So I encourage you to keep going through the storm, keep putting one foot in front of the other. It's no cliche. And my hashtags are never stop, hashtag never give up, hashtag it's only for a moment. Even though the moment might seem long, it is actually for a moment. Hashtag keep working, hashtag hustle baby, hustle, hashtag fight for it, hashtag push through the pain, hashtag keep going. And none of these is easy. And I don't say any of them flippantly because I know what I have been through, how hard things have been, and in some points where I've wanted to give up. So I don't say any of these things flippantly, but I do say them because I know that everything passes. Everything passes if you just keep moving, if you don't give up today. Don't give up today. All right, so that's it today on this episode of The Way I See It. I hope that you've been encouraged. I hope that you've been inspired. I hope that you are inspired, again, motivated to just keep taking that step, one step in front of the other. Keep moving, keep believing, keep pushing through. And I'll see you next time on The Way I See It. Take care.